Boston Celtics did last night was an insult to basketball, in my opinion, man. That's an abomination. An abomination offensively to play the way they played. And look, if people are going to sit there, well, that's how they play all the time, man. Live by the three, die by the three. What are you talking about? Watch the game. The Celtics contingent and people that love the Celtics or that defend the Celtics are going to say today, well, they're all uncontested threes. My ass. I watched and I wrote them all down. And I was disgusted by the display. I don't care who wins the game. I was just disgusted because it's horrible basketball.
I didn't know we could say that word on TV, quite frankly. There's no beep there. Okay, Legs, very opinionated on three-point shooting or lack thereof from Boston. Jay, do you agree with him?
I think I've taken a different point. Obviously, I think when 75% of the shots you take are threes, that's absurd. But what I'm starting to recognize, and you guys, Stephen A., you know how I'm built. You know I'm a little bit different here on this one. A part of me is loving seeing them jack up threes. You know why? It gets all the basketball purists really angry. You can't win that way. That's arrogant. That's absurd. That's disgusting. Maybe 75%, maybe, but 50, 65%, not so much. You know, it wasn't too long ago that the Golden State Warriors were ruining basketball. They were ruining it. But now it's genius. Now it's innovative. Now it's incredible ball movement. I'm not saying forcing up contested threes and just jacking. There has to be movement and beauty and continuity to it, which is typically how Boston plays. And they have one of these games every once in a blue moon where they just jack up shots. But to me, it's like either adapt or get out of here. This is the way basketball is going. Not every team is playing this way, but this has led this team to winning a world championship. And I think what you saw yesterday, even with Joe Mazzulla, the first time, maybe we took 10 shots, a little bit too much. Then I think you saw him watch the tape, and that same arrogance that people thought he had, he's like, okay, now I'm going to double down. Because I do believe that it took them to miss 45 threes in order for the Knicks to win by 3 points. By 3 points. Think about that for 1 second. The Knicks won by 3 points in overtime after Boston historically missed 45 made threes. So either adapt or just get left behind.
I agree with that point 100%. This is unlike Indiana-Cleveland. I think Indiana's better. I think this is an outlier, this game. I think the Knicks, great job on their comeback. I don't want to hear another word about Thibodeau. Well, he can't coach. He never plays his bench. Nonsense. He beat Detroit. They won 50 games. Third straight year they're in the second round. And he came from 20 down in the third quarter against the world champs and won a game. Not only that, set up a tremendous play at the end of regulation. And Brunson missed a layup right at the end of regulation. And Mazzulla in this game, I know he's won a championship, so I got to shut up here, but I'm going to say this. That was a horrendously coached game. He got unbelievably outcoached. You cannot have 19 of 20 possessions in the third quarter where you come down and hoist a three. They had 20 possessions, and in 19 of them, they're down there shooting threes when the Knicks are coming back from 20 down. How about a timeout, and how about a plan B? How about Joe saying, hey, guys, we're doing the Knicks a favor here. We're doing the Knicks a favor. Somebody go to the basket and get a couple free throws. Let's break the momentum. We don't need long rebounds and then Brunson does his thing. Because once you miss 1 3 and it's out of rhythm, you seem to miss a lot of them. Because missing threes is as contagious as making threes. And the Celtics the other night proved it. I think they shoot way too many threes sometimes. I can't say much because of what Jay said. They won a championship. This is the way the game is going. But how could anybody, Legler's right, how can anybody in Boston watch that performance in game one and sit there and tell me that that was a championship-level performance?
Oh, no.
They stunk in the game.
It wasn't a pretty brand of basketball to watch, that is certain. What do you think, Stephen A.?
I think Legs is right. It was an abomination. I disagree with Jay Williams on a couple of points. First of all, let's be accurate about something, Jay. Nobody dogged the Golden State Warriors. You might have said Phoenix back in the day when D'Antoni wanted you to either shoot a three or make a layup and completely eradicated the mid-range game from the equation and wanted you to jack up a shot inside of 7 seconds or less. You could point that out. But with Steph and Clay proven to be two of the greatest shooters we have ever seen in the history of basketball, nobody was lamenting Golden State because of those two guys, the Splash Brothers. We knew that's what they brought to the table, okay? It wasn't everybody else jacking up shots. It was primarily those two. Whereas since they came along, now you see everybody trying to shoot, and they can't shoot nearly as effectively as Clay, who shot better than 40% from three for the first 8-9 years of his career, and Steph Curry, who's the greatest shooter God ever created. So I don't agree with that. When we look at Boston, we got to think about this. Throughout the regular season, 54% of their shots was from three-point range. The other night, it was 62%. So what are you doing increasing with that? I'm looking at a breakdown right here. Field goal attempts in the paint, they attempted 31 of them and made 55% of the shots. They attempted 63 pointers, made only 25% of those shots. They only attempted 6 mid-range shots. That is a part of the game, and when you got a talent like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you don't need to either jack up threes or layups. You got a mid-range game too. So that number, that mid-range number, should have increased, which is why I get where Tim Legler is coming from. In the end, however, Boston's going to shoot threes. That's what they're going to do to beat you. Since you're the reigning defending champions, there's not much you can complain about with Missoula in regards to that. It's just that at some point in time, when you have the skill set that you have, it should have been long before you missed 45 of them for you to realize that I don't need to be jacking up threes at every damn opportunity. I got a game that complements the three-point shot. I can get to the mid-range. I can get to the hole. I don't need to just be jacking up threes. And last but not least, Doggy, when it comes to Tom Thibodeau, having said that, I think Tom Thibodeau is a damn good coach. I'm proud to have him. But let's not act like he's above reproach. Yes, he has been knocking on the door for some time. If I said Presti's got to be about closing, Tom Thibodeau has to as well. Now, I know there are people that's going to disagree with it, and you say nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Look at them. He played his guys, and, they still closed the deal in overtime. Are you going to win the series? We know Boston is the superior team, but are you going to win the series? And yes, you beat Detroit. And yes, last year you won the first round, and if injuries hadn't happened to you, you probably would have beat Indiana. But you still get to look at the team and say to yourself, if guys are tired, when you got Mikal Bridges and others complaining about playing time and stuff like that and wanting him to use his bench, that's not a crime. You can point that out by still recognizing he's a great coach.
Stephen A., what are you talking about that nobody was lamenting about Steph and those guys shooting threes? There were
not Steph and Clay.
There were so many conversations about, can you win a championship with this style of basketball? That is lamenting on the fact that they don't think that style of basketball can translate into world championships. It's the same thing. That's all people used to talk about until they did it. What do you mean?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because what I'm saying to you is this. We're lamenting the how three-point has infected the game of basketball because we see too many people shooting and missing. We didn't see them shooting and missing. We saw Steph Curry and Klay Thompson making them. What we asked ourselves were, could you win? Is that going to deliver?